Okay, Chapter 5, Section 1, we are classifying polynomials and describing graphs of polynomials. What math concept is this? Polynomial, get it? Because poly means many, and there's many noms. I thought it was funny. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is rewrite our polynomial equation. So polynomial, poly means many. We have many terms in these equations, so we're rewriting them in standard form. So we always start with our highest degree that we have. So what do you think our highest degree here is?
9.
Right, our highest degree is the x squared, so that 9x squared is our highest degree term. So we write that one first. So we start with 9x squared. (9x squared). What do you think comes next? 3x. And then plus 5. So this is in standard form. That's it. All right, for the second example, which term is going to come first?
10x squared.
Do we have anything with a higher degree? X to the fourth power. 4 is our highest degree. So x to the fourth power comes first. Do we have any x to the third power? Nope. So then we write our x squareds. We have 2x squareds. So we want to combine them to just be 1. So how would we combine negative 6x squared plus 10x squared? Just add. We add the coefficients out front. So what's negative 6 plus 10? 4. So this would be 4x squared. So we took care of our x squared terms. Next we have just x terms. So do we have any terms with just an x? 4x. And then what's left? Minus 12. So this is our answer. So just a little reminder. The little number, I'm going to write an example up top. So if we had x to the fourth power, let's say 5x to the fourth power. The little number up top is our degree. The number out front is our coefficient. And this whole thing is a term. All right, let's look at our next example. What do we have to start with here? What's our highest degree? 2m squared. So we start with the 2m squared. What comes next? 7m. And then what? Minus 3. Next, we're going to be classifying polynomials by their degree. So remember, we're looking at that little number up top. So if we had x to the fourth power, my pencil's not working, there we go. So if we have x to the fourth power, the 4 is our degree. So the degree is the little number up top. So we're classifying polynomials by the degree. If our degree is 0, that means we don't even have an x there. That would make this a constant. If our degree is 1, so if we just had an x with no number up top, then we would classify it as linear. If we have an x squared, then we would classify it as quadratic. X cubed, we classify it as cubic. x to the 4th power we classify as quartic, and x to the 5th power we classify as quintic. So these are just all the names that we can classify by degree. And degree is that little exponent up top. And when classifying it by degree, we always look at the term with the highest degree and classify it by that one. So what is our term with our highest degree here?
7x.
What would that degree be on x?
Linear.
It would be a 1, so this would be linear. Can we write this in standard form? How would we write this in standard form? Can we combine any like terms?
10x plus 5.
Awesome. We add the 7x and the 3x, so this would give us 10x plus 5. Our degree is 1, so that would make this linear. All right, so this is already in standard form. What is our, oh no, it's not in standard form. How would we write this in standard form? What comes first? I think that's a 4. X to the 4th. What comes next? Negative x cubed. And then what comes next? Just x. So when classifying it by degree, what is our highest degree here? 4. And we call that quartic. All right. So to put this in standard form, what comes first? 2p squared. What comes next? We have negative 4p plus 3p. Can we combine those together?
Yeah.
And what does it become? Remember, we add the coefficients. So negative p. So negative 4 plus 3 would be negative 1. So just negative p. What is our highest degree here? 2. And if we have a degree of 2, what's it called? Quadratic. So you guys have to know that the number up top is the degree. So I'm just rewriting it here that we have a degree of 2 to show you guys that's how we came up with quadratic. Because the important part here is classifying it by the degree, so that quadratic, knowing that it's a quadratic because we have that squared term, that 2 is our highest degree. Next, we're going to be classifying them by the number of terms, so how many terms they have. Terms are always separated by a plus or minus. So, for example, in the first row we have 5. Our number of terms is 1, and it's called a monomial. If we skip to the third row, even though we have 4x squared, we have like more stuff going on there. There's nothing separated by a plus or minus, so it's still only one term. So it's a monomial still. It's the same thing, only one term. But if you look in the second row, we have x plus 4. Those are 2 terms, separated by a plus sign, and that we call a binomial. If we have 3 terms, it's a trinomial. And if we have 2 terms, again, binomial. And then anything bigger than 3, so 4 or more, we say it's a polynomial of however many terms that it has. So in the third, the fourth, whatever, the last row, I guess the 6th row here, we have 4 terms, and we say it's a polynomial of 4 terms. If we had 5 terms, it would be a polynomial of 5 terms. So 4 or bigger, you just list it by a polynomial of however many terms that you have. All right, so let's write this in standard form. What comes first?
3a first.
3a to the third power. What comes next?
5a
5a squared. And then what comes last? Plus 1. How many terms do we have? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 terms. And what do we call something with 3 terms? Trinomial. Awesome. All right. How would we write this in standard form? What comes first?
7 and 3, but you can add that.
Awesome. We have to add the 7 and 3 together, so this would be 10x and then plus 5. How many terms do we have here? Perfect. So you have to make sure you write it in standard form because here we have 2 terms. Even though it looks like we have 3 from the start, we need to write it in standard form first because we actually only have 2 terms. And what do we call something with 2 terms? A binomial.
Like the degree one, like we count the 2 terms.
So remember, the degree, you look at the highest exponent. This, we're looking at how many terms we have. So you have to look at something different, and it's 2 different lists of words that we classify it by also.
If they ask for both, we just write both.
Yeah, on the homework, it'll ask you for both. So the homework will ask you to put it in standard form and classify it by the degree and by the number of terms. So you have to put it in standard form and then give me those 2 words that classifies it by degree and number of terms. All right. We only have, how many terms do we have here? Perfect. And what do we call something with 1 term? Monomial.